Skirious Problems.
Right, Mika, what's your Skirious problem, mate?
My Skirious problem is that I'm actually looking so much forward to this podcast now already, because we've got like a fucking legendary guest on, Jan Thomas Jenssen. And I do know that the whole Norwegian national team is looking forward to listening to Jan Thomas Jenssen in English.
And that's maybe not the best. I'm stuck again. So it will be a long podcast if I start don't remember English words.
That's gonna be great.
Yeah. I was just thinking, like, I saw this Viaplay made this interview last weekend where you were like trying to find your words and then talking completely wrong English, and then I was like, fuck, this is gonna be so good on the podcast.
Yeah, like Kevin Bolger, I train a lot with him in Trondheim.
Yeah.
But when I write on Snapchat what I think, like what the sound in English is.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So everything I send to Kevin, I think it's completely wrong, but he understands me one other way. So yeah, I have been thinking about this podcast for like since you asked me.
This was like 2 months ago.
Yeah, and I can't join this podcast because everyone will laugh at me. Everyone when I'm warming up on Saturday and Sunday, people will think, what have this man been doing on the school? Because I can't. I mean, by myself, I can't speak English, but
It's not so bad. I think you're underselling yourself, to be honest.
I will try, but I have some blank spaces. Like
you know who else has got blank spaces? Mika in his brain. Basically, his brain is an entire blank space. So I think it's all good, mate. All good.
Yeah,
but actually, since you're talking about with school and so on, so you grew up quite close to here.
Yeah.
Like a few hours.
20 minutes through the airport. Like between the airport and Trondheim.
Okay, yeah, because I'm saying here we're in Trondheim, in front of the stadium. We're actually in the commentary booth, and we can see just in front of the finish line. So it's pretty cool spot.
Yeah.
So you grew up in Trøndelag, they call it.
Yeah, Trøndelag.
Yeah,
the most beautiful places on earth.
Wait, I think you're mistaking it. I think it's called the most rainy place on earth.
Yeah, like the Trøndelag hadn't been showing them for the best site when they are complete. We are inviting the world's best ski racers here, but
yeah, World Champs last year was pretty rough.
Yeah, but we had the crowd, so the weather was
Honestly, the crowd was the one thing that saved the World Championships.
Yeah.
But since we're here, actually, you know what? Let's just dive into a hot topic straight away, because that we're sitting here recording a podcast for the pre-Trondheim World Cup. That's actually not something that was certain a few months ago. Like, how you're Norwegian, you're from here, and we really don't understand. World Ski Championships in Trondheim, about 100,000 people watching at the max, probably around like 30 to 40,000 people on average every day. And they lost money, and not a little bit of money, but they lost a lot of money.
Yeah.
The guy doing the budget also had blank spaces, I think.
I didn't follow the English, and he didn't follow the math, I think. So everyone, like, not just only in Trøndelag, but like in the whole Norway, like they can't understand what had happened. Like in the city here in Granåsen, there were people everywhere. Like
insane.
People spending money, but someone had used a lot of money before, and it's like I've been what shall I say? It's like really, really weird just to be Norwegian and
You feel a bit embarrassed almost?
embarrassed. That was the word I was thinking about. Really embarrassed. Because lots of the money they were
they were spending.
No.
Or that was generated.
Yeah, it should be generated. Will come to the Trøndelag ski.
Community or
to do senior groups and junior groups and on the basic levels.
Yeah.
And they got nothing. So
instead they could pay a little bit.
Fuck. It's this was supposed to be kind of like a start to build even more future.
The more future. We have good growth on in Norwegian in Norway.
Yeah.
The growth is fabulous.
Yeah.
But everything is costing so much money now. We see in cross country, people fall off in early ages, and could have been a good way to keeping them in higher ages.
Yeah.
So I think that's the saddest part of it, because the senior team in Trøndelag, they maybe don't have a opportunity to have a group next year because of the
shit.
Yeah.
That actually shit.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's also a bit because the whole money situation in Norway in sports that we're talking about as well. One part, obviously, in skiing, especially in Trøndelag now, is the missing money from the Ski World Championships. Another part that's coming in there is also the sponsorship culture in Norway, because I feel in Norway it's so popular to spend lots and lots and lots of money into local football clubs, local ski clubs, and to make sure that all the micro environments that they function and that they work.
Yeah.
But then when it comes to top sports, there's if you compare it with Italy, France, Germany, for example, there's no money for elite sports. What is that culture? Where's that coming from?
Oh, that's a hard question. I think we have good economy. We have very large. We have the oil. We have the huge companies in Norway who has a lot of money, and the national sport is cross country. Everyone we have Petter Northug is maybe the most important man, who is still it's important for me that Petter Northug is trying to ski ski classic.
30% chance. 30% chance.
No, to go to Olympics.
No, he's just trying to.
Yeah, because just to have Petter Northug on the nationals last year, they generated so much interest, and everyone wants to have and Johannes Klæbo, Marit Bjørgen, Therese Johaug, everyone wants to support, have a mark there. I think it's have been better before also, because in the golden age, Marit Bjørgen, Therese Johaug and Petter Northug was the Norwegian Ski Federation had so much money they didn't know where to make spend all the money.
Cocaine and hookers.
Someone else did that, but
wait, now you have to go into specifics. Who are you talking about?
Oh, don't know. But it's have been like this for whole since I knew about skiing. It's have been big sponsors, and the money hasn't been the problem.
Yeah.
So.
But now it seems to be.
Yeah, it's harder. like after COVID and
but the Norwegian economy is doing quite well, no?
I feel this whole COVID is just an excuse.
It's definitely just an excuse.
Yeah, it's just like since COVID,
it's like all these companies that like were investing into stuff that they were kind of like, we're not so sure about investing in sports, investing in this and that, and then COVID hit, and they were like, we can't invest in that anymore.
I don't think it's COVID, like the COVID was but I think it's like before and after COVID, something has happened.
The way people think and the way they behave, or
or like the interest for skiing. Like in Norway now, we have like many good cyclists. We have plenty of athletics who is taking away people from cross country. So it's hard to say because just for me to get sponsors now, it's harder, but I'm trying as fuck to make something out of me in social media. But for like 5 years ago, I could go to some random I feel, and they gave me money. But now I have to work really, really hard, I feel.
Something that you did that made me laugh a lot was during the World Champs last year. You did this prank with Andreas where I'm sure you saw, Mika, but Elon is a sponsor of the national team. And so they gave like this package with like all the athletes that have been selected to the World Champs. So they had like a speaker and maybe like some sort of coffee stuff or whatever. And then you decided it was good to take away one of the speakers for Andreas Fjordenrey and replace it with, how would we call it in English?
Runkemaskin.
Basically a wanking machine.
What was the name of the machine? What was it called?
It was like with some Supreme and XL, I think, like something in that. We're like, Andreas Re is like a easy person to like bully a bit because he never take back. So I like, we have to be a bit careful with him, so we don't bully him too much. But now he's a bit harder now, so he's
fighting back a bit.
Yeah, fighting back a bit. But
is that a good thing, or?
Yeah, I think that, because then we can do more. Because Erik Valnes and I was like didn't have a lot to do in Trondheim after the skiathlon. I mean, we wanted to had a little fun with Andreas, so we got Mats William Jensen. He was in the city partying. He was done with the sprint. And we sent him to buy this wanking machine. And we know we had talked to, like, we have like Marta, were filming the series about us. We talked to her and like wanted to get her in the room with Andreas and like reading the Elon sign about these products you can use in the daily life, and like it was
and
so
feel
good.
At home or something.
You feel like home. So it was like a perfect match to set the wanking machine inside his room, and the face of Andreas when he realized what's were there, like he was like so red, like a tomato, and he didn't know what to say, but it was so funny. So.
He must have known it was a prank, like immediately. Like, especially when you have Jan Thomas on your team, then you know it's like. Yeah,
he started reading about the
machine.
Yeah, and he stopped like when he wasn't half finished, and he understand. Oh, I know what I got, and he know what who has been doing that. So
yeah, that was funny. That amused me a lot actually when I saw it.
Yeah, so now I'm cutting Andreas Re because we had veddemål.
Yeah, the veddemål. I don't even know the English word myself. It's like a betting.
Betting.
Yeah.
We were betting on the 20k in Ruka.
Wait, but you were skiing in the 20k in Ruka. You're not allowed to bet on races that you ski in, mate.
Yeah,
no, we were like I beat him, I'm gonna cut his hair. If he beats me, I had to take a hole in my hair and like a
piercing.
Yeah, piercing ring hair.
Wait, but why is if you lose that it's so much worse?
Because I cut Andreas Re before the championships here in Trondheim, and he was so angry because he meant by himself like it was the worst cut ever. And I asked him a lot, I want to cut you. You have so long hair now. But no. So I said we have to bet. So that's I had a lot to lose, but I had also a lot to win because now when he's racing hair, his hair is going to be a lot worse than it's going to be in the World Championships.
Is it going to be Iver Tiltheim 2.0?
Yeah, I'm thinking mohawk, like a narrow strip hair. But we'll see.
And then will he have to use gel in that as well?
Yeah, maybe we have to talk about it. But something weird is going to happen with Andreas Re. His hair. Yeah.
When? Okay. What's the sign? When do we get signs from Andreas that he's not okay? That he's like mopped and that it's like gone too far?
I haven't tried yet. So he's the funniest person to be with. Also in the national team, me and Harald have a lot of fun with Andreas and everyone. But Harald is like trying to make Andreas
included.
No, like doing a hard thing about with me. So
a hard prank.
Yeah, hard prank. So one day I maybe have a problem.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to see what that's gonna be like.
Be fun.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to see what that's gonna be like. Who else is getting mobbed on our Norwegian team?
I'm being mobbed at a lot. Like
but that's typical when you give shit to everyone.
Yeah.
Then also everyone gives you shit back.
Yeah.
And when you when you give shit, you have to accept that you
gonna get shit.
Yeah, but I love to give shit and get shit. So that's funny.
You could take that in a different.
Like fuck. I hear when I'm talking now, like thing is going great, but it's like a Somalic man trying to speak Norwegian. Like me trying to speak English, like it's the same. It sounds so different.
Yeah, but now you know how me and Jimmy feel all of the time when we walk through Lillehammer.
Yeah, trying to speak Norwegian. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so you grew up on the farm, and that was, I know you from before, but I remember the French guys when they first kind of heard about you. It was when you won that race in Ruka 2 years ago. It was kind of like your big breakthrough when you were just selected to represent Norway on one World Cup, and boom, you deliver, win that race. And it was like, first of all, tell us about that feeling, just like being able to deliver when you should deliver.
I remembered I listened to your podcast the week before.
Yeah.
And did you know what you said about me?
We said you're the ultimate NPC.
Yeah, like in and out. Like Jan Thomas is going to go in Ruka and out in Ruka. Like
that was actually me that said it, and I was so unbelievably wrong.
Like I remember that after I won. Like I gave you a long finger there.
That was well deserved.
Yeah. So
I had a part in your success then.
Yeah, maybe.
Because you were like, "Fuck, I'm gonna show them." So yeah.
Yeah, it was quite funny, I think. Like, but yeah, Ruka were special. I haven't feel like my everything was like perfect.
Yeah.
It's hard to describe when like the day it's that day when the skis is good, the body is good, the head it's good. I felt like I was in the war trying to survive, and that's changed everything, like going in Nordic Cup and try to survive there and maybe get out in the World Cup in the national
quota.
Yeah, but going World Cup every weekend and
you know what it didn't change? You still throw up before every race.
After
but is it before or after?
Both, before and after.
Okay, but that's fucking weird. Why do you do that?
I'm so nervous.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. I can't control my head all the time, and like I'm so stoked and so triggered, like it's and the only reaction is to puke.
Because it's like the standard thing. You're warming or you're getting ready for the start. You're getting dressed somewhere, and then you just like from a bit far away, you just hear like, and you look, and it's like, Jan Thomas, he's here as well today.
And there was like in Ruka, there was like a vomit in the middle of the changing area.
But that's a good thing.
And I filmed it. And then Mika did a little edit and wrote like Jan Thomas, and I was like, mate, I was thinking exactly the same. Like everybody knows that Jan Thomas is like the serial vomiter.
That's also one of the things. Like, I like how you try to do it like so decent and like just be for yourself. No, you just stand in the middle of everybody in the freestart and you throw up in the middle of the people all the time.
Yeah, because it's like 5 seconds before, it's completely fine, and like it's a switch.
Yeah.
And I just, where can I puke? Like try to in the Ruka now. I was like 2 seconds away from puking on Johannes before the start, and like
crazy.
That'll be good.
Also since he had such a good day that day, anyways.
Yeah.
But are you not like empty? Before start, like, do you not feel like you don't have enough like energy, like because you're vomiting your food?
It's just liquid.
Yeah, okay.
It's just water from
I guess.
well.
Yeah.
Actually, I was asking you about Ruka because that's kind of like when you had your breakthrough, and I remember talking to the French guys. That's kind of when they first kind of got to know about you and like knew who you were. And I remember them saying like, "Fuck, this guy is like, he obviously loves skiing, but he also like loves his home life and loves, his dream is to have a farm." And he's just like, in French, and I think in English as well, he said like a bon vivant, like it's someone that like enjoys life. And like you're like hunting and farming and so on. So yeah, tell us a little bit about that. Like how is your everyday life?
Yeah, like I'm, my dream is like when I'm done skiing is like to be a farmer.
Yeah.
Like that's my.
Are you gonna take over the family farm?
No. One of the waxers in the waxer cabin in Norway, he's together with my sister. So
shit. So he's gonna get the farm.
He had taken my farm. So
is that beef in there sometimes?
No, he's so nice that I can't be angry on him. So, but yeah, it was like that wasn't the most funniest part to like never had the chance to take over my farm, because that was my childhood dream since I was in the farm with my dad. But life goes on, and now I'm together with a girl who is from a cow farm.
So
Seems
the dream lives on.
Yeah, the dreams lives. So I've said to the Norwegian media like when I'm done skiing, I want to be the world's best farmer. So that's another dream. But
you should have just been born in Austria, mate. Like, if you're born in Austria, like, there's not even a question. If you have a sister and a brother, like, there's not even a question who's gonna take over the farm. It's like,
but quite often the brother and the sister are together anyway.
Yeah, that happens occasionally. So then it's like, still a fair share.
Yeah, but I love to be in the nature, like hunting, fishing.
Yeah.
Are you a good fisher?
No.
I think you're probably, if you're a bad fisher, you're probably still better fisher at this table. Because me and Mika are like the world's shittest fisher ever.
I remember once Jimmy caught a fish, and it was like probably like this big of
10
a fish,
centimeters
10
long,
centimeters.
But that's still quite big for Mika standards.
Yeah, definitely over average. But then he was so proud of his fish, and I was like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna put that one back." And he's like, "No, we're definitely gonna eat this one." And so he had like a 10-centimeter fish, and he put it on a stick, and then he was sitting in the car and holding his fish on a stick in the car all the way home.
Yeah.
Even we're in the forest in Lillehammer, or no, I haven't the best fishing luck. I think I've been fishing a lot. I feel like lately after the season, I go ice fishing.
Yeah.
But I just don't get the big fish either.
Yeah. Well, we don't get any fish.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in Norwegian we have a word that's called hall. Have you heard about it?
No.
You have to get laid before you're going to the fishing trip. If you don't get laid before, you don't get any fish.
So maybe that's why you're not so successful in fishing either then.
Yeah, but I tried hard. But I haven't success. But you have like.
But you haven't succeeded in getting late before, or in the.
Yeah, I don't have the timing with the fishing trip. But,
okay.
But you have like what we call handhall, like hand handhall.
I think I know where this is going.
It's like.
Explain.
Not the best method, but it can work. So everyone knows what I'm meaning, I think.
No, I don't know.
No. Then you have to figure it out yourself, I think.
How about you could, like, you know all these, like, we don't know these words. I wouldn't even know how to write it, so you just probably should just explain.
Try to like take the Andreas Fjordre machine before you go fishing. Then you have maybe a chance.
That was a very good way to explain it. I thought yeah.
Is there a similar thing with hunting as well, or no?
Yeah. Like I had a bit success with hunting. Like the year I won in Ruka, I was like, the last fall, like I were moose hunting and were like going in mountains in Trondheim and were shooting a big deer, a big moose by myself, like with my hunting team. But I was like,
I think I've heard this story before.
I had one story with moose hunting.
Yeah, I think I've heard that one.
Yeah, like I was. That's a whole other story. When I was in Hummervik, where I come from, it's like I'm waiting on the deer. Like with a man who is chasing the deer with a dog. Yeah. And it's a really deep hill. Steep hill in front of me. That the moose is coming down. If it's the moose in the area, it will come down there.
Okay, yeah.
And it will come like in the side of me.
Yeah.
And and suddenly I heard like quite a noise.
Yeah.
And I just fuck. It's a moose. It's a big moose.
Yeah.
And it's don't come where it should have come.
Yeah.
It's coming straight to me.
Okay.
2 meters from me, it's coming right at me.
Yeah.
And it just
turns
a bit, so it's 2 meters from me, aside of me.
Yeah.
And the first thing I think, it just don't look in the binocular and shoot, but I just take my rifle and shoot
in
it
front
like
of
this.
your stomach. Yeah.
Yeah, like just do
like a shotgun.
Yeah. And afterwards, the bullet just ran like far off.
Yeah.
So he didn't get shot.
Yeah.
But then I turn around and start running after him.
Yeah.
And like 15 meters behind me, it's like a cliff.
Yeah.
And I tried to shoot him again, and then he looked at me and right off the cliff.
Okay.
So
he rather commit suicide.
I killed a deer with no bullets. So
it was like, oh my god, it's Jan Thomas Jenssen behind me. I'll commit suicide instead.
Wait, but this is not going so well for Jan Thomas. Like first he's confessing to bullying Andreas Bjørnrud. Now he's confessing to forcing an animal into suicide. Like, this is not looking so good for you, Jan Thomas.
No, but it's good meat, so so someone has to die.
Okay.
But
no, afterwards I was telling on the radio with my hunting buddies, and I couldn't talk because I had so much adrenaline.
Yeah.
Like it was like this, and we don't hear you. We don't know what you're saying. Like, and I tried again, and like, no. So I had to text them.
Crazy.
Said what I've been doing.
Yeah.
But do you throw up while hunting as well then?
No, I didn't. So that's weird. But afterwards, when I was going down to the moose and the feet was broken and the stomach were exploded, I was puking. So,
okay. Yeah, it's probably not the nicest sight.
No.
Yeah. But going back to the farm, when you say your dream is to have a farm, what type of farm? What are you farming?
Yeah, like no, it's I want to like milk.
Yeah.
And mostly that.
Yeah.
And like doing barley or some of that, but most milk, and like, but now I'm seeing one man in the World Cup here is like far ahead of me. I see. Like Yannick Ribli, he is like the master of farming in the World Cup. Like I can't
compete with him.
Compete with him. Like he's a farmer. I'm just a ski racer and I'll have like a hobby, like helping with the farm. But Yannick Ribli, he's my big
idol.
Idol.
He was showing me like pictures of his cows and so on, and he really, you can feel like he really loves them so much, you know, like he's that type of farmer that's like really loves the animals and so on.
Yeah, so now I have like a hope to get the invite from Yannick Ribli to like.
Here's the camera. You can
invite me, and I will love to come to milk your cows.
You know what? Actually, my first memory is of Yannick Ribli. It was in Galtur in 2019. It's like in April. There was like this city sprint there.
Yeah.
And I'd never heard of the guy before in my life. And so we were there as well. We were doing like the prologue before. And then this is like 2019, a city sprint. There's no live timing. There's no live results, nothing. So the first time you kind of know if you actually went through to quarters and semis was like I don't know, maybe 50 minutes after the prologue and 20 minutes before the quarterfinals. And they had signed in late to the race. So it didn't even say a name next to their bib. It just said, okay, bib number 14. And so like a few minutes before the quarter start, they start to like look for the people that have qualified and that go on. But everybody knows of course, and it's warming up for the quarters. And then there's just people running through like, oh, bib number 14, who had number 14 in prologue? And I'm sitting next to Yannick Riebly drinking a beer with him. Sitting laying there. And he's just laying like, he had his legs up high. And then his friend's like, yeah, but you have bib number 14. He's like, nah, I didn't have bib number 14. And time goes on. And then he's like, all of a sudden he gets up and he's like, but wait a second. Is this my bib? For I had number 14. And then he just ran off and did the race. So after that was not so funny, but I think the moment itself was very funny.
Yeah.
I think he literally warmed up for like 4 minutes.
That's funny.
I think he even won the race afterwards.
Yeah, he is like, yeah, I haven't managed to talk to him because I stalked him on Instagram in like early winter now. And fuck, Yannick Riebly, he is like my idol. So
you know, he talks exactly like you. He has like, he can speak pretty good English, but he talks exactly like you. So you guys would be like perfect.
Yeah, good.
He has like his farmer's touch.
We can create a bromance.
Yeah, I would love to.
Yeah.
Yeah. You had some story you wanted to talk about.
Oh yeah, I had a question then.
Yeah.
That I think you got asked in the media. In Norwegian, but nobody's heard it in English. If you can either have a gold medal at Olympics or your dream farm, but you cannot have both. What do you choose?
I will choose the gold medal, but I have to do the gold medal, and but it's hard. I was like thinking quite some minutes about it because. Yeah, I think I will be working like hard as I have been in the cross-country tracks when I'm going to be a farmer. Like so, and it's been the part of my life for like since I was born. I always wanted to be a farmer. Yeah, and I always wanted to be the best ski racer on earth. Yeah. So no, I have to take the Olympic gold.
Yeah, I guess it's what's happening now as well. So maybe in 20 years you'd say something different, but
we'll see. But yeah, I think it's harder to be take the Olympic gold than to be the world's best farmer. But so
yeah, that's maybe true.
Probably. Your way to Olympic gold. One question we also ask some of the athletes. Your training, are you willing to give us like a 2-minute quick breakdown? What are you doing? What's the thing that you do differently than other people? Are you training super conservative? Are you training quite aggressive? What's your, give us a short breakdown.
Like to be Norwegian now and talk about my training, I feel like it's nothing to talk about because everything is going to like just not the World Cup team, but under like in Norges Cup. Like I feel everyone is training so much hours, so much intervals. They like do everything I do in 2 years in 1 year. I feel like that because I'm feeling I'm training myself like I'm 850 in 1 year.
850 hours in 1 year.
850 hours, and feel like I have trained 1,000 hours, but it wasn't for me. I just didn't have like no energy when I'm going racing. Yeah. Now I'm training like 2 to 3 intervals a week, like we called in Norway zone 3 mostly. And yeah, I feel I don't in the don't do so much different on the Norwegian way, if I can call it that. But no, like maybe I have to think a bit different next year, because you like see maybe the best example is Andreas. Like everyone is knowing about his training. He's training so much and he tolerates it. That's my like the $1,000 question. Like how does he do that? Like because I've trained 1,000 hours and I was so when I hear about all the Norwegian who is like double threshold and like maybe 6 intervals a week and like 30-35 hours a week, it doesn't I don't believe them until I see the training diary, but I know they do that. So I will describe my training very basic. I don't know if it's basic, but I feel it's basic, like
conservative maybe.
Like I don't train more than 30 hours a week on the most, but I don't have like 25 hours a week like a steady from June to November. So I feel I train much, and I am tired when I'm done with the weeks, and I'm happy with my training, but
it's nothing crazy different than
no, I don't want to I don't feel that way because it's very basic Norwegian training.
But I have another couple questions then before we go to some funny questions. So first serious question is about, so during that training summer, you raced at Toppidrettsvecka, and then they did a ridiculous course, and we talked about it on the podcast, and then you crashed in the corner because it was like difficult to not crash, and then you broke your arm. So tell us about that first. Like
first of all, I have my roller skis were so bad. I picked up one roller skid and I was doing the corner and I almost fell the first time.
Because you were going down there twice.
And the second time I were switching skis to see it was better. And it was like worse than the first round. Then it was so much tailwind that I had so much speed in the corner that I couldn't take the corner, and I was like, afterwards when I was face planting and like I didn't feel like broken my bone. One of the doctor came and like pushed my arms in different direction. And I almost
cried.
Almost cried and like you passed away. So now,
passed away. I passed out, I think you mean.
Passed out.
Passed away would be a bit extreme.
Passed out. So then I understood what had happened, and so from there to today it's have been like 8-9 weeks with
cast. Crazy.
And I couldn't use my arm, so like the in Bedostern was my third classic interval, and my fifth 7 skate interval. So I haven't the best start of the
summer training season.
The fall. The fall. So
for sure.
So no, I feel my shape is good and my arm is going better and better. So I hope it's this week is going to be really good.
We have a question that we ask all our guests. Maybe you've heard it before. If you had to do one session with 2 people in one place, what would you do? Where would you go? And who would you go with?
Jan Thomas.
Yeah.
I had to take him. The other guy, I can't take Norwegian. It's have to take someone in the.
Can be dead or alive, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe like I saw him today, Christian Sorzi.
Yeah.
He's a funny guy.
Yeah.
Jan Thomas and Christian Sorzi. Yeah, the places where it have to be like we call it in Norwegian, elghufs. Like
running intervals.
Yeah, running with pulls, uphills. Where would that be? I think I'd fell in love with Lavinio, but no, Lavinio is shit. I heard from you, Mika. So
it's good actually when it's not roller skiing in the summer.
So that will be the place. Lavinio.
Yeah. Cool. Anything else, Mika? You have to tell us a story because I've heard half of a story, which is apparently 1 year on the 17th of May, which is the national day.
Oh, you start
in
to
Norway.
already. Yeah. I like this.
You danced so well that something happened to your trousers.
Yeah.
And how did you fix it? I don't even know the answer to this, but tell us the story then.
Yeah, like the 17th of May, I want to invite all the World Cup skiers to Norway, the 17th of May, because
it's one of the best days.
Yeah, completely. I'm really I love to dance like swing. I'm learned it. I have been examined on it on school. So, and I learned it from my sisters.
Okay.
So I love to take girls to swing them.
Yeah.
And the 17th of May, I have a bit tight dress.
Suit.
Yeah, suit. Yeah. And I was like throwing a girl up in the air.
Yeah.
And I was taking her down, and then I had to squat a bit.
Yeah.
And from my ass down to my knee, both bones, like the whole
they split apart the trousers
on the seam.
The splits. Yeah. And we were going down to the city afterwards, so I had to fix them. So one of the girls just stitched the trousers or the
pants.
Suits, the pants for me. Then the your waxer, Bernard Rønning, he came like 5 seconds after the girl were finishing stitching the trousers. He came and pulled the string.
Oh no!
So the whole work were completely disaster. So then I took tape and taped myself.
So you taped the pants back together.
Yeah. And
how did that work?
Yeah, and the rest I don't remember so good. So.
But then it didn't happen if you can't remember it.
Yeah.
True.
That's true.
Right, I think I still have lots of questions I wanted to ask, but I think we've done already quite a long podcast.
Yeah.
It's a race weekend this weekend, so we all want to go fast.
We want your predictions though.
From all the races?
Yeah.
I think the Swedish is angry on Kristine Skistad. I think Maja Dahlqvist wins on her home ground.
Yeah.
No. Like the men's sprints, maybe not so.
Not so difficult to guess.
Yeah.
Maybe not the first one, but I think one Norwegian from the national group will
do well.
Do well.
Yeah.
it's like have Hagen or yeah. I think one of the Norwegian who is not so famous will have a good day here in the sprint. And Frida Karlsson on skiathlon, and myself on skiathlon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to sprint you down, Mika. But
I'll make sure there will not be a sprint, mate.
yeah, you don't allow to set the pace. We can do like Edwin Anger's pace on the second round in Ruka, all the way to the finish line. Yeah,
but you know, if you'll stop me from going fast, I'll get angry at you, just like Simon Krüger did.
Yeah. Maybe I don't do that. Like the 10 skate, I think Harald Amundsen, Einar Hedegaard will, and Andreas Ree. I think those three will be competing about the victory.
Yeah.
No Krüger? Is Krüger actually going? Is he?
Yeah, I think
again?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. But yeah, and on the Frida Karlsson again. Yeah, like I had one.
I think we're not recording anymore here.
I was afraid of you were taking up like the Frida Karlsson.
I wanted
thing.
to, yeah.
Yeah. But now it's funny. I think I felt that day when the interview was coming out, like everyone. I was only the man in that room.
Yeah. You know what he's talking about? A few years ago, there was
In Gällivare.
There was this video where it was like named the prettiest girl in World Cup.
Yeah.
And then everyone was like saying, "Oh, my teammate Mika, for example, like Jules Lapierre said like, or Hugo Lapierre and stuff like that." And then everyone was like making jokes, and then Jan Thomas came and was like, Frida Karlsson, and then just left. And he had a girlfriend at the time, so.
Yeah.
How did she like that?
Yeah, it was fine, but I were more like Kevin Bolgren, my Dahlqvist, tried to push me to Frida at the World Cup finish in Falun that year, and I was so embarrassed that I couldn't speak to her. I felt like, what is she thinking about me? I can't talk to her because she thinks I'm a freak. So I haven't talked to Frida Karlsson after that.
Maybe she has a secret crush on you.
Yeah, she probably does actually.
I don't know, but
I'm guessing she does, now that you're saying it.
Yeah.
Like Harald Amundsen and Didrik Tønseth stood behind me and said, yeah, we're going to say a girl, we also. And after I have to do it twice to like say Frida Karlsson. And after I was finished, they went.
No.
So I just asked Synne Dyrhaug, like, are you taking it with? Just don't take it with. And yeah, it's fine. And I no, it's not fine. I'm so nervous about meeting Frida. Like, you can't do that. So no, it's funny, but I don't know what Frida Karlsson thought that day.
I think that everyone that saw it thought you were a fucking legend. I thought it was the greatest thing ever.
I don't remember this.
Yeah, Didrik Tønseth did make a reel on Langringsgutta on Instagram.
Yeah.
So you have to check that out.
I'll watch it.
Yeah.
Good times. I think we should wrap this up. We're running way too long already.
We'll say thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining, and it was a good one. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Like and subscribe. Your #1 Nordic skiing podcast. Peace out. Good times, boys.
Skirious Problems.